Hello, fellow yappers. I'm Ruchi.
And I'm Shalini, and we're your hosts of Binge Yap Repeat.
We're two best friends who spend an embarrassing amount of time binge watching TV, and honestly, we just need to talk about it. If you're here, we're guessing you do too.
Fair warning, this is a spoiler-friendly zone. We will be discussing lots of spoilers. So, if you haven't watched the show yet, hit pause, go binge, and come back when you're ready to yap with us.
And now, it's yap time.
Hello, fellow yappers. Welcome back to another episode of Binge Yap Repeat. Before we finish up with the second half of Tempty Eily, we have another new segment, this time called OOPSY DOOPSIES. Because sometimes we're just wrong enough to induce engagement.
Whoopsie doopsie.
For anyone wondering, we have to give credit to the person who created it, Thomas Middleditch of Middleditch and Schwartz, also of Silicon Valley. Anyway, Middleditch and Schwartz have a comedy special, and at one point, Thomas Middleditch goes, "Whoopsie doopsie," and Ruchi and I, for some reason, think this is the funniest thing on the planet.
Our brains really latched onto that phrase. We watched it in 2020, and here we are 5 years later being like, "Oopsie doopsie," and losing our shit every single time.
So anyway, that is what we will be calling our segment about things we got wrong in previous episodes.
The oopsie doopsie segment.
The oopsie doopsie segment. All right. So we already know we're wrong about some of the things in today's episode that we recorded a while ago. So we're also going to do something innovative called strategic editing and sprinkle in some corrections during today's episode. I'm sure it will be extremely seamless.
So you won't even notice. You won't even notice the oopsie doopsies that we sprinkle in. Trust. Okay, so our very first oopsie doopsie classic, it's me. So in the previous episode, I was talking about The Devil's Plan, which is the Korean reality game show on Netflix. I said that Lee Se-dol, who is a contestant on that show, won against AlphaGo, the Google DeepMind Go bot, and that is actually not the case. So it turns out they played 5 games, and Lee Se-dol won 1 of them, and AlphaGo won 4. So just a fun fact, AlphaGo was actually awarded an honorary 9 dan by the Korea Baduk Association as a result of that match win. But yeah, so Lee Se-dol only won one of the games that they played out of the total of 5 games. But yeah, just a quick correction, quick oopsie doopsie.
All right. I think that's it for the pre-episode ones, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then stay tuned for the future oopsie doopsies. See if you can spot them.
They'll be so seamless. Tempty Eily.
Tempty Eily, episodes 6 through 10. Here we go.
Here we go.
So, I feel like so much stuff happened in episodes 6 through 9, but all I want to talk about right now is episode 10.
Okay, you want to start there?
Yeah, okay. So we gave ourselves pre-work yet again, and we stopped at episode 9, and we said, given what we know at the end of episode 9, will people leave the island alone, leave with their partner, or leave with someone new? So we can just do the order that episode 10 was, did the order of the couples. So the first one was
Brianna and Shantae.
Brianna and Shantae. Yeah. My prediction was Brianna and Shantae will break up. They will both leave alone, but I think they will try to date after. That was our prediction.
I actually predicted that they would leave together.
I will say I was not surprised.
Yeah. We can get into it, but I'm actually happy for them. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Oh, okay. Basically, I really loved how Brian approached that conversation with so much humility, and he basically just said everything that I wanted him to say to her to win her back. Like he said, I don't deserve you. I very much regret what I did. I have changed. I've connected this to things from my past. Asked the women in the house that some of them have told me that I've grown so much. Yeah, basically, I was just really happy with his growth. And obviously, he did still cheat on her. And I would not have blamed her if she didn't take him back. But her attitude towards him before they met up again was still not like, we're done. It was more like, he better have some sort of explanation. And I was like, oh, he is going to have an explanation. Like, he's ready for that. And then he did. And then, yeah. So, yeah, I was very happy. Oh, yeah. Also, okay, in episode 8, it might have been after the bonfire or something, but it was like a confessional with Brian, and he was like, if she does something as a reaction to what I did, that's totally valid. Whatever I'm about to see in this bonfire, I deserve. And I was like, wow, he's the only man out here saying something like that. He's the only one recognizing that the women making decisions is a direct reaction to what they've seen their partner do.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I was also, okay, backing up even further to episode 7, I was very impressed with Brian's choice of which women to keep on the island. He wasn't trying to pick women that he was interested in. He was like, these 2 women have really challenged me. These 2 women have yelled at me, and they're the ones helping me grow, and those are the ones I want to stay. So he was thinking about Shantae when he was choosing which women to stay. So I was also very impressed with that. Yeah.
We are coming at this from opposite sides completely. So I agree. I think he was saying all the right things, but then this is where the pettiness, misandrous side of me comes out, because I'm like, this manipulative bitch, he knew exactly what to say. Once he had his fun, he knew exactly what to say in order to like make Shantae happy. And then the other thing, the reason why I wasn't surprised that they stayed together was throughout this whole process, Shantae like had his necklace on and I guess his earrings on the entire time. And so when she showed up to the bonfire with that same necklace, I was like, they're staying together. Dang it. So,
oh, very perceptive. I forgot about the jewelry.
But then going back to your point about who he chose to keep, I actually saw that in a really negative light, because going back to that earlier point of I just had a threesome with like Courtney and Alex, and now I want to have a threesome with Angel and Amaya. Like that's the second set. My brain really latched onto that. And so when he intentionally did not pick Courtney and Alex and picked Angel and Amaya, in spite of saying that his date with Angel was like really off-putting, I was like, is he still trying to make this threesome happen? What the heck? And I felt like it was only until Amaya kind of threw his shit back at him, then he started to really think about the emotional aspect. I think it was that, and also the fact that he saw Shantae like just sobbing.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think him seeing her sobbing was his turning point and point of growth. But with Angel, I thought I remembered him explaining his choice and saying she's really challenging me in my beliefs or something, and that's why I'm choosing for her to stay. I know he said that about Amaya, but I thought he said something like that about Angel too. And yeah. I guess also question back to you, did your opinion change once it was clear that he wasn't trying for another threesome?
I'm gonna be like, I feel like I am not giving him the benefit of the doubt at all. And I think that when he did choose the 2 people that he wanted to stay, I think it was from a place of like, I want to have a threesome with these 2 ladies. I mean, maybe this is editing. Maybe this is just another case of Brian being contradictory. But I felt like after the date, he was like, oh yeah, it was really off-putting that she asked me all of these deep questions. But then when he chose her, he was like, I really love that you asked me deep questions. And so I was like, which is it, Brian? So I felt a little bit like, this is sus. If he's not saying consistent things, it's always sus. So
okay, I interpreted that as like he took the time to reflect and he was like, actually, I really liked that she challenged me with those questions. And that's kind of, I thought that's how his energy was going forward also. Like he wanted to be challenged like that.
Yeah, that is true. I think also, like speaking of Brian, how did you feel about his backstory?
That had to be some major editing because I was like, that's not a confession or like that's not a realization you have in a 2-minute conversation. How many months of therapy does it take to realize that your intimacy issues come from your like cold childhood? It can't be that instant. Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense. Like if this was a scripted show, not a reality show, I would have been like, that's really unrealistic for someone to have that realization like this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think his energy really matched his words. It seemed genuine, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think I only started like maybe believing him a little bit like by the end of the bonfire with Shantae. But like that's how long it took me to believe him. I was like, maybe he has a point, I guess. Sure.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah. But even by the end, I was like, is she
Yeah.
really happy? But I don't know. This is just a
I
character
know.
flaw of mine.
I mean, it's fair. Like, I don't know if I could take him back after that, but I had a feeling she would. And I thought after the threesome, like, he stuck to his word that was like, I really don't need to do this anymore. And also, I really liked when he said, I've been so focused on Shantae doesn't do this, Shantae doesn't do that. And really, the problem is Brian. And I was like, yeah, it is. That's such, I mean, I don't know how true he felt when he said it, but like, you know, Grant would never say something, and Tyler would never say something like that. So
that is very true.
Not that that's the standard of good, you know, reasonable men, but yeah.
No, that's true. And I think a lot of people would not have the introspection needed to turn the tables on themselves like that. So I think that does display a mental fortitude. But also going back to your point, was there therapy involved? Like, I can't imagine anyone coming into that experience and having such a fundamental shift in mentality to be like, wait, I'm the problem. Unless it was some kind of intervention. Maybe it was Mark. Maybe Mark got to him.
Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing I have to say about Brian is, I don't know if you're watching the show with subtitles, but when he was having the threesome in the bathroom, the only subtitle was rhythmic wet slapping.
Yes.
So hard.
Yes.
Like someone really had to type these words out to describe what they were hearing.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like the sound was so faint that I don't think I would have known, to be honest. Yeah, I'm like, it's a black and white screen. Like, what's going on? Like, I need someone to tell me. So I'm actually glad that they had that. I was like, oh, they fucking.
Oh, it's happening.
What did you think about Shantae's and Brian's videos?
Okay, I remember his video. It was kind of apologetic, right? He was basically like, I wish I didn't do that or something, or like, I don't need to be doing that anymore going forward. And I'm sorry for my actions or something.
Yeah. So basically, Brian to Shantae, there was honesty about the boundary that he crossed. And then afterwards, Shantae said that she felt like he had remorse. And then I put, but I don't think he does. So mean.
Brian hater over here.
Seriously. And then Shantae to Brian, I wrote, I hope Brian sees those beautiful tears and is like, fuck, I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, hers was like, you hurt me so much. Okay.
Yeah. And then afterwards he said, I feel humbled and a sense of long pause. And then I was like, it's called regret. So I think that was like, the videos were a turning point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they both sent them. I also think Shantae's video told me that she's not ready to let him go. Like, Ashley was like, all right, I'm done. No more emotions for Grant. But then Shantae still has so many feelings for him that I was like, okay, I don't think she's ready to say bye yet.
Yeah, that's true. I should have seen the signs. Question. Do you think that Brian has had threesomes before?
I'm confused because I thought the answer was yes, but then his reaction afterwards, I was like, is this your first one ever? Like, why did you think you would love this so much?
I totally agree. I lost the plot a bit because he's so sexual. Like, he loves being in threesomes. I think he was even questioning at some point if he was poly or something, right? Then he had this threesome on the show and then immediately was like, that was not for me. And I was like, I think that's also why I felt mistrustful of him, because he was spinning this yarn about who he was and like how he identified. And then once he actually acted on those things that he was talking about, he felt like such regret. Oh, this was the wrong thing for me. Oh, I let down Shantae. Like, so I think that was like a huge question mark. And that's also why I didn't feel like he was being honest.
I mean, totally fair. I saw it as he, in the same way that Lino wasn't ready to propose to Alexa until they had gone through this experience. I think it was the same thing of Brian wasn't sure if he was ready to be the man that Shantae needed him to be until he had that experience. That's kind of how I saw it, where he was like, okay, I've had it. And now that she's let me explore, I can safely say with evidence that I don't need to be doing this anymore.
I see. Yeah, I think that's fair. Or maybe he had threesomes before he met Shantae, and he used to be like this wild guy, and then he met Shantae and was like, she's so good, she's so amazing, she has all of these things going for her, and I really love her, but what about my last hurrah? So maybe that was it.
Yeah, maybe. I could definitely see that, where he's like, wow, I really am a changed man. I don't need these things anymore.
Yeah, I thought this was the person I was, and then once I realized that, oh, I'm no longer this person, I actually did grow in this relationship so much. Like, that's what I needed to see. I can believe that story. I want to believe that story. So I will. So I did a little social media stalking to see where are they now. What is your guess for Brian and Shantae?
Oh man, I hope they're still together. I'm gonna guess they're still together.
So Brian and Shantae, they still follow each other on Insta.
Okay.
Neither of them is giving couple vibes on their respective pages, which is like kind of different compared to the other couples. But I did read some random article that was like, Brian started some venture, some like business or something, and like that business is following like 40 people, and Shantae is one of them. Yeah, so it's like something like close to Brian that Shantae is following. So maybe they're still together, unclear on what terms, but they're probably at least still together, or at least like on friendly enough terms.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, closing the chapter on Brian and Shantae.
All right.
May peace be with them.
Good luck, both of you.
It's your oopsie doopsie number 2 for this episode.
Oopsie doopsie number 2, it turns out that Shantae and Brian are actually not together. In our defense, this came out April 7th, which was actually after we had recorded this episode. So on April 7th, less than a month after Temptation Island's Netflix premiere, Shantae revealed on Instagram that she and Brian had broken up. So, yes, we got that wrong, but news came out only after the fact. So it's like a semi-oopsie doopsie. It's really just an oopsie.
Not a doopsie.
Not a doopsie.
All right. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
All right, should we talk about the second couple? Taylor and Tyler.
Tyler. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Actually, really quickly back to Brian and Shantae. I also looked up their ages. And I actually thought the age dynamics between these couples is really interesting. I didn't really pay attention to it before in episode 1, but I re-looked it up. Brian and Shantae, Brian is 26 and Shantae is 29. And Shantae is a Pilates instructor. So going back to that conversation that we had before on like, I don't know what Shantae's financial situation is like, but maybe that's why she wants to stay with Brian. So
interesting.
I think that's like maybe part of it, maybe not the whole story. Nothing ever is, but
okay. I can totally see that she's older than him. He was a child coming into this show.
Yeah. And you know who also has an age gap where the woman is older? Our next couple. Tyler. Yes. So Taylor is 30. Tyler is 27.
Another 3-year age gap.
Yeah. And Kay is 25. So I don't know if you remember, if you caught that comment that Taylor was like, you just want to run off with like a 20-something.
25-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, 25-year-old. And I was like, how old are they? Because they kind of look like they could all be 25.
There was a moment, Taylor was talking to one of the men in the women's villa. It might have been Case or something. It was early on, and she was like, oh my God, I'm like so much older than you. And he was like, dude, I'm 29. And I was like, what?
Yeah,
How old is she?
To Yemen. Yeah,
to Yemen. Okay, it was to Yemen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Yemen was like, you're like a month older than me. Wait, but also LOL at Case. Like, what?
What happened? Did he just like want his moment in the spotlight? I'm so confused.
I have no idea. I just remember like, oh, Case is back. And he's gone.
And then for Marky Mark to use that as evidence that not everyone leaves Tay, I was like, Mark, this isn't the time. This isn't the guy to be making that for. Like, she literally doesn't give a shit about him.
I think that's true, but also I think it actually did help Taylor a little bit.
You think? Okay, yeah.
I think she was like, whoa, he did come back. And then Marky Mark was like, mostly came back because of you. And then she was like, oh. So like, even though nothing came out of it, I think it was like, the reason they are not together, or the reason that he left, was on her terms instead of his. So I think that helped her a little bit. To what extent, who knows? But...
Yeah.
Okay, so Taylor and Tyler.
I predicted correctly that she would leave alone and he would leave with Kay.
Yes, I also predicted correctly. And I wrote Taylor break up and leave alone. Tyler will leave with Kay, parentheses, serial monogamist.
Serial monogamist for sure. For sure.
What were your thoughts on how it all went down?
So first of all, I loved Taylor's speech that she gave to Tyler. I think she sounded like she was very strong and everything. I loved her like customer service smile during Tyler's speech.
Yes.
It was so funny.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh my gosh. And his speech was total BS about how she disrespected him with her words. And then the fact that after they both gave their speeches and then they started talking, she was still trying to show him how wrong he was. I was like, girl, like, why are you still trying? Let this man go. Like, he's not going to come around. I don't know why you're still engaging with him. She should just be like, okay, I'm done. Thank you, Mark. Yeah. We're done. You know, just, yeah, the gaslighting was crazy.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about him.
Yeah, and that's par for the course for how I expected him to react, and just like blame people for like his own things, you know. And I guess that is kind of how I expected Breon to be, honestly. So I think I can see your point more and more that like I think Breon did have a lot of growth, especially compared to like Tyler and Grant, to be honest.
Yeah. And not once did Breon defend himself and his actions, like not even at all. And that's all that Tyler and Grant did.
Exactly. I also feel, going back to my theory that I had, that Taylor and Tyler had broken up actually beforehand. I think Tyler left with Kay not because he wanted to explore a relationship, but more so that he wanted to be an influencer, because his words were, I see this incredible opportunity and I am falling in love with Kay, which made me think that like there's an incredible opportunity and Kay's like a peripheral person who's just like happens to be there. And so that's why I think that like his ploy is to like, be a model and whatever, but also like be an influencer and get that to be his full-time job.
Oh my gosh, I did not clock that, but I totally see it. Because I did think it was weird that how he phrased that.
Yeah, like incredible opportunity.
Yeah, I was like, what incredible opportunity? You mean like this girl?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just say it then?
Yeah.
Okay. I totally believe that. Okay, that also makes me think that if he said it like that, they probably had discussed it beforehand. Like, well, worst case, we don't get back together, but we both become influencers.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that's totally it. So that's why I feel like another disingenuine couple.
Yeah.
One thing that I actually teared up about was when Taylor was making this impassioned speech about her feelings. When Marky Mark was like, "Hey, you should use I statements and like I feel instead of the you statements and blaming each other." She made this statement of seeing you fall in love with someone else when I just wanted you to fall in love with me. That really made me tear up and made my heart break. Because I feel like I don't know about you, but I have definitely been in so many situations where like I really like someone and all I want them to do is like me back. And then it's just so heartbreaking to see that person, especially if they're your friend or someone, like enter a relationship before your eyes and you're just like, oh, I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. And like, why couldn't that have been me? Totally. I mean, it's been a while since I've been in a situation like that where like I'm presented with the opportunity to be jealous, really. But, oof, those never feel good. That's like the hardest thing to watch, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. So that made me tear up because I think it was like, oh, this hurts, this hits. But well, anyway, let's see where they are now. What's your prediction?
I'm predicting that he and Kay are no longer together and that Taylor, she's maybe found someone. I think she's with someone.
Oh, okay. So I actually didn't look up Taylor. But yeah, like Tyler and Taylor are obviously not together. Tyler and Kay follow each other on Insta.
Okay.
But I did read an article that Kay posted a TikTok of herself dancing in her apartment and captioned it, an apartment he's never been in. Sparkle, sparkle, flower, flower, heart, heart. So it's like,
interesting.
Okay, so it was not just a breakup, but like bad breakup.
Okay. Huh. Well, that doesn't surprise me. I'm sure she realized he was toxic after the show and she wasn't just trying to steal him from a woman.
Yeah. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if Taylor was with someone now. I feel like she's so put together. My prediction is that Taylor is with someone who's slightly older and has a very stable job.
I hope so. Okay, her Instagram isn't saying anything, but I did have some other things about them. Oh yeah. Okay, Tyler's video was so confusing. He like didn't say anything, but so many words were said. There was nothing. He was just like, yeah, I don't even remember what he said, honestly, because it was such bullshit. But I wrote so many words, but he said nothing.
I wrote another gaslighter, what the heck? And then I also wrote down in quotes, I want the best for you and I do love you. And then I wrote that also reaffirmed my theory that they had broken up. Because I feel like you only say that about someone that you've like broken up with, you know? You're like, oh,
that is
like,
true.
I want the best for you.
Yeah, but I thought that was like after their show breakup. But I don't know. Maybe
That's
not.
true. That's true.
I don't know.
Yeah. I hope he goes to therapy. I hope all these men go to therapy. I hope everyone goes to therapy.
Dude,
everyone should go to therapy.
Everyone should go to therapy. I also, at the last ladies' bonfire, when he sees Tyler, oh gosh, I don't even remember what she saw him do at the last bonfire, but basically he was probably like, just with
going
Kay.
to the tent with Kay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, was that the last one? Okay. Yeah. And she was like, I have no emotions left for this man. And Mark was like, tell me how you really feel, Taylor. And I was like, that is how she really feels. Like, she has no emotions left for him. That's so fair to be just like, completely numb. And I have nothing else to say, but I was proud of her for having that reaction and not being like super upset still. And I'm happy for her. I mean, obviously she and Yemen did not leave together and are probably not dating, but I'm just so happy that she found someone so reassuring. And he was just such a great man to her from what we saw and really pumped her up. And I loved his confessional right before she went to the final bonfire where he was like right now she is 100% Tay and her ex is not ready for her. I was like, that is a man who truly wants the best for the woman that he
Yeah.
likes. He was
Gas
just
her
so
up.
happy for her, and like loved seeing her strength, which was
Yeah.
so great. Love Yemen.
Yeah, love Yemen. I think it was also really important for Taylor to see someone who could say all of those words and mean all of those words and like support her unconditionally. I thought that was really great for her to have that kind of support. So yay, Yemen.
Yay!
I was gonna say the dumb thing I was gonna say is, you know how when Tyler was like, "Oh, cuddling with Kay," that really rolls off the tongue. I was like, how has every kiss begins with K? Like, how has that joke not been made yet?
Oh my gosh, so true.
I was waiting for some, like, even in the background, I was like, it's right there.
Maybe they couldn't do that because they would have to get paid advertising or something. Yeah, I don't know.
That better be the
That's
only
funny.
reason.
I'm
yeah.
disappointed in everyone.
I watched an entire 10 episodes to hear it, and it didn't happen.
I'm so sorry.
All right, should we move on to the third couple? Okay. The third couple was our favorite.
Ashley and
Grant and
Grant.
Ashley.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
Prediction first.
My prediction, again correct, was that Ashley would leave with Danny and Grant would leave alone.
Amazing. I said they will break up. Grant will not leave with Natalie. Ashley will leave solo, but date Danny for a little bit after, but eventually will break up because of long distance and their newfound fame. So there's definitely a lot of like, and then they'll do this, and they'll do that. And then
A little scope creep, just a little.
yeah, just a little scope creep. But yeah, so Grant does not end up going with Natalie. He ends up leaving alone. And Ashley ends up leaving with Danny. So what was the prediction? Why did you guess that Ashley would end up with Danny?
Okay, I thought that she would leave with him because she was starting to develop some real feelings with him. She just really enjoyed his energy and just loved how safe he made her feel. And I don't even know what quote unquote leaving the island together even means. Is it just like you sit next to each other on the plane versus on separate flights? Like, what does that mean?
I think it's supposed to be like, we intend to date after this show for real.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
I also don't get it. I also don't know if the like producers even got it because this fun fact, Temptation Island, this is technically like season 9 of Temptation Island.
What?
I don't know if you knew this. Yeah, so Temptation Island first premiered in 2001 on the USA Network, and there's actually multiple seasons, and there's multiple international seasons. So they filmed in like Argentina and Brazil, and our friend Marky Mark has been hosting all of these seasons. So he's probably said the same things, and he's probably seen the same dynamic like over and over again, and that's why we think that he's so wise. But he's actually like, in season 1, this is what happened.
Oh my god, that's his psychology experience. It's 9 seasons of this.
Yeah, basically. Oh man,
that's amazing. Wow, I didn't know. Okay, there were like some clues because at the beginning when he said, do you guys have any rules for each other? And then they all said the rules and he was like, I'm laughing because like that's not what happens here, or like it doesn't work like that here. And I'm like, how does he know? But that makes sense.
But it's also interesting because I don't know if you saw like the Instagram bios of all of the cast members, but they all have Temptation Island season 1 on Netflix. So I think because Netflix took it over from USA Network, this is like their new season 1. Yeah, I guess. I don't know how TV works, but anyway, how did we get here?
Ashley and Grant.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so that's why I thought she would leave with Danny, just because she clearly really liked him. And she had hinted, I think, to him during their last date or something. She was like, I would really like to continue hanging out with you even after this show. So I was like, okay, I think she's open to it. And then I was just thinking through all the people that might leave with someone that's not their partner. I was like, if it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Tyler and it's going to be her.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I can kind of see that. And Danny is so different from Ashley. And I also felt like they had enough time to have a foundation for a relationship that actually would leave the island, whatever that means.
Yeah. You mean like as opposed to Taylor and Yeaman, who like it was kind of budding towards the end, but not
Yeah, it was kind of
there.
budding, but I didn't have enough time. Well, actually, why did you say that Grant would not leave with Natalie?
Oh, because he's a fuckboy. And he was just like trying to assure her in the moment, but he didn't say anything definitive to her ever. And I was like, this man. And then also because Ashley's actions still really bothered him when he saw them at the bonfire. I was like, there's no way in front of Ashley he's going to say, I choose Natalie. Like, he just wants whatever's right in front of him, no matter what. And so, yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah, especially the fact that he never said anything affirming to Natalie. That for sure was like, okay, this isn't going to happen.
Yeah. And because she said to him, which I'm so glad she did, where she was like, I can't move forward with you until you for sure break this off with Ashley. So I don't know if that affected his choice. He probably wouldn't have chosen to leave with her anyway, but I mean, good for Natalie for saying that, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I have a little bit of tea
Ooh,
about the after, but predictions for where they are now.
Okay. I don't think Ashley and Danny are still together, although that makes me sad. I just think like in real life, like it wouldn't have worked because they live in different states. I think Grant is in another relationship.
I think this might be your first incorrect prediction.
What?
So it's looking likely that Ashley and Danny are still together. Yeah. And then the articles that I read about where are they now said that they're still following each other, and not only that, they've commented on each other's like recent stuff. So it's like
that makes me
likely.
so happy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So
that's cute.
It is time for Oopsie Doopsie number 3. So, turns out Ashley and Danny are not together any longer. Ashley told Tudum.
Yeah, I think Tudum, the Netflix. Yeah.
So Ashley told the Tudum, we talked for a bit, but it just fizzled out. They live very different lifestyles, and they knew that going in, and she was more just trying to stay away from Grant.
Yes. And they are still friends, so that's why there's a lot of like Instagram chatter between the two of them, because they are still really good friends, but they are not together. Anyway,
back to the episode.
And I also looked up Grant and Natalie just to cover my bases, like what I did for Taylor. Sorry, Taylor. So with Grant and Natalie, they are not together, obviously, but Grant is following Natalie on Instagram, but Natalie is not following Grant.
This like really goes with the theme though. I feel like he just waits for the woman. He like, is the bad guy waiting for the woman to like end things because he doesn't have the ovaries to do it himself.
Waiting in the wings. Well, I guess like this is probably true for all of them. Grant is definitely going down the influencer route. So like he's doing Instagram lives for everything. And I like scrolled down his Instagram a little bit, I'm ashamed to say, just to see any non-Netflix content. And it was like all Temptation Island. Like the last, what's the grid on the Instagram? Like 3x4, I guess. So the last 12 posts at least were all like Temptation Island related, if not more.
Okay, well, it seems like Taylor's is also like that. Maybe they're all like that, but
they're probably all like that. I think like once you're a Netflix reality star, that's just kind of like the path you go down.
Yeah,
influencing is thrust upon you.
Grant. I never want to see his face again.
Well, you know, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on Netflix, so.
No! Grant, played by Andy Samberg. Okay, so going back to the video that he sent Ashley, oh my god, this video made me so mad. All the gaslighting where he was like, I focused on your feelings and neglected my own. I'm a good man. If you have to say you're a good man that many times, look inward. Why are you saying this? It's because you're a terrible person. Also him saying, I forgive you, which I'm glad she called him out on that in the speech when she was like, I don't know what you're forgiving me for.
Yeah, exactly. I also
yeah.
put happy for Ashley to stand up for herself, but Grant is a stage 1 gaslighter.
Yeah, stage 1, yeah.
And then I also put second bullet, what the fuck? I've been putting you first. You literally haven't.
And then at the bonfire when she's like, when exactly were you putting me first? When you were like with that girl in the tent? And he was like, no. It's like, okay, you're so fucking dumb. Oh my God. Yeah. And then also just telling Natalie that he's going to break it off with Ashley. He said that to so many people. And he was like, Brian, did you hear what I said? Did you hear me? I'm going to break it off. And Brian's like, yeah, dude, go for it. Or maybe that was with Tyler or something.
Won't?
But he was like, yeah. And then in the video, he's like, whether or not we make it through this. It's like, what happened to cutting it off in the video?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
My God. I don't remember what episode this was, but I remember like Grant being in a confessional with like his fucking coffee and journal, just spouting some bullshit. That scene pissed me off so much. I was like, what are you even saying right now?
I know.
It doesn't make any sense. And it's like you're rewriting history in your brain to like put yourself in the hero's position right now. It's so annoying.
The worst. He is the worst. Stage 1 gaslighter for sure.
Yeah. Okay, now that we're done shitting on Grant, actually I did have one thing, but I actually did feel a little bit of empathy towards Grant at the bonfire when it was like him and Ashley. So I did kind of feel for Grant because it did feel like Ashley had kind of made up her mind in the beginning. The fact that she wasn't looking at him in the intros and he was kind of looking to her for like affirmation about like the stuff that he was saying, and she like refused to look at him. I was like, ooh, that's a red flag. But also the fact that it feels like Ashley did put a lot of pressure on Graham because she kept saying, I expect you to fail. Like, I know you're going to fail in this experiment. And that actually puts a lot of pressure on someone and sometimes even does make them fail. And then the other person's like, well, you know, you proved me right. Like, there you go. We're done now. And so I did kind of feel for him that way, because when you're in that unfair, like lose-lose situation, it's like you have no other choice but to like fail, or like you can do what you want, but it doesn't even feel good in the end. So I did feel a little bit for him. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I forgot that there was a point when Ashley apologized to him in her speech and she was like, I am sorry for putting you down so much, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, yeah, that couldn't have been easy to live through, although like you proved her right. So
yeah,
a little bit of empathy.
One thing that I laughed at, but it felt like Mark was actually happy about like Ashley and Danny leaving together and Ashley and Grant splitting up, because I felt like he was pretty neutral for like all of the other couples, but he was like, I'm so happy for you guys, like especially because like after Tyler and Kay went home, he was like, all right, have fun. So I thought it was like funny that he was actually very encouraging to Ashley and Danny.
Marky Mark.
Season 9.
Oh, what a treasure.
Let's talk about the last couple, Alexa and Lino.
I'm happy for them.
So happy for them. Over your prediction.
Yeah, my predictions were they would leave together.
So yeah, they left together. They're definitely engaged, definitely still together. At least like following each other on Instagram, seem pretty lovey-dovey. So
yeah, okay, I'm glad. I was like, oof. When he called her dad, I was like, man, if they don't stay together, I'm gonna be really sad, mostly for her dad.
Yeah. But I mean, yes, love Alexa and Lino, but actually I want to talk more about the videos. So I really teared up when they sent each other the videos because their love was like so palpable. You know what I mean? They they truly loved each other, and like the relief and like the love that you saw on their faces when they like opened the video and like saw each other, it was like, this is so cute.
Yeah.
I also felt like they said exactly what each other needed to hear. I was like, this is true love.
I know, it was so sweet, and how they both started their videos with "I miss you" and "I love you." And yeah, they were just like strengthening each other. They were like, hang in there, like we'll be together soon. It was so sweet.
So sweet. And how like the entire first half of Tempted Ali, Lena was like, oh, am I always gonna be second choice? I don't know. I just want her to choose me. And then her video was like, you will always be my first choice. It's like, this is exactly what he needed to hear. And the fact that he just like broke down in tears after the video, so cute.
Sweet. And I love that he was like, I know there's only one Lino, and I know there's only one Alexa.
Yeah, it was
So
like my
happy for
heart
them.
will not be swayed, like no matter what. Yeah, so
sweet.
cute. So you want to talk about the final bonfire night?
Sure. I don't know if I have too much to say because I was just so happy for them, and I like knew it was gonna go well.
Yeah, I think I kept waiting for him to propose because I knew it was gonna happen during the final
same.
bonfire, right? And so I was like, is it gonna happen during the speech? Oh, it didn't happen during the speech. Is it gonna happen when they had the cover? Didn't happen in the conversation. Is it gonna happen when they leave? Didn't happen when they. Oh, okay, now it's happening.
Yeah, that was exactly my thought process. Also, I was like, is it now? Is it now? Is it now?
Yeah. Oh, that was so cute. And I laughed when after he proposed, he was like, we'll just take one of these bottles and get out of here. Oh, so cute.
Oh.
Well, now that we've discussed all the couples, there's only one thing left to say. Our journey is complete on this island.
Oh my god.
And we wish you all the best.
Should we rate the show?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'll go first. I would say it's a 2.5 out of 10.
Wow. Okay, so you liked this way less than With Love, Megan.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay,
Well,
I mean, I did too, but I was just not expecting 2.5.
I think rewatchability is a big factor in my rankings.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's very fair.
I definitely would not rewatch this. Actually, no, you know what? I take that back. I'm gonna give it 3.5 solely because of Alexa and Lena.
Cute.
Their videos made me believe in love again, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
versus Tyler and Grant, like, made me lose faith in all men.
yeah, for real. They really did. They spent the entire 10 episodes making me lose faith in men. And then that one video between like Alexa and Lena was like, these are just like two people who like really and truly love each other and are like continuing to choose each other every single day.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna give it like a 4 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. What did you give Megan again?
I think I give it like 5.5.
Okay.
I said it was like net pleasant.
Yeah, net pleasant. So you start from 5 and you subtract or add.
Yeah, basically I'm like, okay, if I feel nothing, it's a 5, maybe. I don't know. I'm still honing the rating. It's like, okay, do I like it more than I dislike it? I think I disliked Temptation Island a little more than I liked it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I also start from 0. Maybe I shouldn't start from 0. Like, how much would I rewatch these episodes? How much would I enjoy rewatching these episodes if I were forced to? And then I'll rank it on that.
That's so funny.
Okay. Well, our journey on this island is complete.
It sure is. Thank God.
I like the occasional reality TV.
Same. Especially when I have someone to discuss it with. Like, the fact that we were doing these podcast episodes made it way more fun to watch than if I was by myself.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would have just like pinged you in all caps. But with like every episode being like, oh my God, did you watch episode
Yeah.
5? Like, what happened?
Oh my God, Grant's video.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why we started this podcast.
Perfect.
Alrighty, and now it's time for our semi-newest segment. We had it as currently binging corner, now binging, currently watching, whatever. But I think we figured out an official name thanks to ChatGPT. You had a real one. We're gonna go with binge in progress, BIP. So if there's a better name out there, please let us know.
Yeah, listeners, let us know what you think of Binge in Progress. Is it terrible? Our other option was Watchy.
Yeah, we asked ChatGPT, we were like, okay, if our correction segment is oopsie doopsie, then what should our currently watching segment be? And it was like, bingy wingy? Still an
This is when I'm like, AI has a long way to go. Like, Chatty gets it, but she don't get it, you know?
Shalini, what season of Gilmore Girls are you currently on?
So I am still in season 2. I'm like midway through season 2. So yappers, if you are familiar with Gilmore Girls, I am currently on the Secrets and Loans episode, where Lorelai and Rory get termites. And I also just watched the Netflix film that came out this past Friday, May 11th, called Nonnas, about yeah, it's starring Vince Vaughn, and it's based on a true story. And the story is that Vince Vaughn's character, his mom dies, and he grew up with a lot of like really great Italian cooking. So he uses the life insurance from her passing to open an Italian restaurant, and he hires Italian nonnas or grandmas to do all of the cooking. And so it's a very like heartwarming movie. So cute.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about watching it. It's being advertised on my Netflix just like nonstop. So non-stop. So I was planning to watch it. Okay, good to know. I will give it a shot.
Ruchi, what are you watching?
I am still watching The Devil's Plan. So it's coming out on a rolling basis. So they had 5 episodes that were initially released. And then 4 more, I think, hour-long episodes came out yesterday, and I'm halfway through with those episodes. Going a little slow, unfortunately. Work is getting in the way.
So uncharacteristic.
I know. What's a girl to do? But yeah, it's been really good so far. There's been some shocking twists, so I can't wait to see what the finale will be.
Nice.
Yeah. Should we talk about what we're planning to watch?
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that Shalini identified was an Amazon Prime show, which we haven't done before, called Étoile. Is that right?
Étoile. French speakers, please correct our pronunciation. But basically, it means star, and it is a show created by Amy Sherman Palladino and Daniel Palladino, who, as some of you may know, are also the creators of Gilmore Girls and Marvelous Miss Maisel, and a show called Bunheads. And this show is about 2 ballet academies, one in New York and one in Paris, who switch some of their top talent in an effort to get more people to come to the ballet and kind of save the businesses. So it has some of that ASP magic in it, some actors that are in their previous shows, and it seems pretty good so far. I'm only on the 2nd episode, so I'll see how it goes. But yeah, we're planning on recording that one at some point.
And then there's another show, I haven't done any research into what it's actually about, called Sirens. I think that's releasing on Netflix May 22nd. So I'm feeling very excited for that one as well. I think it has a bunch of A-listers in it.
Yes, it has Julianne Moore, Megan Fahey, who plays Daphne in season 2 of White Lotus. And it's also starring Millie Alcock, who was in House of the Dragon. She played young Rhaenyra on House of the Dragon.
I see. Did you ever watch House of the Dragon?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. I'm up to date on it. It's good. but it doesn't have the magic that Game of Thrones had. I think it's just like, you know how Game of Thrones was a show that started with a bajillion storylines and then converged over the seasons? This seems to be going the opposite, where it started with one storyline and then now it's separating into a bunch. So it's a bit of a different feel.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Game of Thrones ended kind of like on a flat note. So I didn't really like the ending, and then I didn't really feel inspired enough by the universe to watch House of the Dragon or House of Dragons.
It's House of the Dragon. I know this because Esther always calls it Hot D.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's why I didn't really feel inspired to watch Hot D.
Fair. Very fair.
Yeah. Is that it? Oh, did you watch more of Sex and the City, by the way?
Oh, no. I'm saving that as like my Stairmaster show or my either Stairmaster or treadmill show. And I haven't done any Stairmaster this week, so so now you know, if I don't have any Sex and the City updates, it's because I have not done any Stairmaster this week.
Great.
All right. See you next time.
Peace.
Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at Binge Yap Repeat.
Until next time, happy binging!